Hello everybody, my name is KingStix and welcome back to another Warwick commentary guide. I've been playing a lot of Warwick lately and I haven't really ran into any bugs. Even though Riot hasn't directly mentioned it, I feel like the bugs have been fixed. So I am giving him more attention than I have been in the last patch. And this is how I play Warwick. I try to guard my initial buff just in case the enemies try to invade or get a ward on it. It's good to be in this bush to see what's going on. Even if they run past and it's their whole team, I don't have to engage them. The enemies almost never check this bush, so it really plays to my side in both ways. Most people know about the classic Warwick invade because I've made so many videos on it and now everyone's doing it. It's important to communicate with your top laner. Hey, I don't need a leash, follow me though. This way, if someone is waiting for you, if it's just the enemy jungler or just the enemy top laner waiting, you can fuck them up and still take the buff. You don't want your top laner to leash because then the enemy team will figure out what's going on and it will just work against you. So after the red spawns in, Renekton leaves, which is great, and then randomly out of nowhere, 𝐃𝐨𝐩𝐿 comes, so this must have been warded. The enemy top laner and mid laner is missing, so I know this is about to turn into a shit fest. Try to get off damage onto 𝐃𝐿𝐲. Now I want to take the red buff to get level 2. I auto it and then I Q smite to get level 2. Now I'm going to take my E to take less damage and we're going to start wrecking them. There's no way Echo can fight me. I have red buff. I use my Q, go through him, and I'm ready to flash after he does. I follow him. I'm going to turn onto the Lux. I need to get healing off my autos, and then I auto Q. We just got 3 kills, me and Renekton, 2v3, and got the enemy's red buff, which is absolutely insane. I don't want to stay for the Raptors because I'm low on health and low on mana. I'll have around 100 HP and Lux could finish me off. Dangerous situation. Also, we have a ward on 𝐃𝐿𝐲's blue buff right now, so if he does go for my red buff, I'll know it because right now he should be going to his blue buff. So right now I want to get to my blue buff and take it as fast as possible and then run straight down to my red buff if I don't see 𝐃𝐿𝐲 at his blue buff. 𝐃𝐿𝐲 didn't show up at his blue buff while we had it warded, so I was suspicious. So like I said, I did my blue buff, ran straight to my red buff. So even if he did run straight from his base down to my red buff, I would have gotten there in time to stop him and potentially kill him. After using the sweeper, I see that his blue buff is gone, so there's no reason for me to run straight at it. Instead, I'm going to take the scuttle to get some more control, and I see 𝐃𝐿𝐲 on the opposite side of the map. I know 𝐃𝐿𝐲 already cleared out his blue buff side, so there's no reason for me to linger there. I already took scuttle. I'm going to cross over, get some pressure down mid, and I want to try to help out Renekton in the top lane. Echo and 𝐃𝐿𝐲's flash are both down, so if we fight 2v2, we'll easily be able to win it since we are ahead. I use the sweeper to check, but then I see 𝐃𝐿𝐲 going top anyways. I can tell they're not going to be able to get Renekton because Echo didn't follow up. Plus, Renekton already knew what was going on because me and 𝐾𝐸 were pinging. I'm going to stay and get the scuttle for control. I see 𝐃𝐿𝐲 going back into his side of the jungle. I was going to go get him at his golems, but Renekton got Echo so low I couldn't resist but to come and pick him off with a single Q. At this point, I don't want to go to 𝐃𝐿𝐲's golems because I know they'll already be gone since instead I went top. I know 𝐃𝐿𝐲's finishing off his golem, so I stay top, shove it in, get damage on the turret, and I leave an enemy minion behind us, that way I can Q away when 𝐃𝐿𝐲 comes up to hit me. We got off a fair amount of damage onto the turret, there's no denying that. And I have a bunch of gold right now. I want to get back, get my team mat. I have a lot of monster camps up, and I don't want to go back in there without team mat. That's going to take too long to clear. If you were paying attention to the minimap, when I backed, 𝐃𝐿𝐲 lingered in the top lane, and I saw his wolves and his other camps were coming up, so I wanted to come over here and contest him. I want to take his Spire to take away his movement speed and his extra stats he gets from it, and now I'm going to fight him a little bit, keeping a close eye on the mid lane. Bot lane is missing, so I know I need to get out of here. I turn on my scripts. I start dodging everything automatically. Q through the Lux and get out of there. There's no point of fighting that. I was just trying to draw pressure off my laners and get as much as possible. 𝐃𝐿𝐲 goes back in. I have so much damage, I'm so fed that I just turn on to him with an auto Q T-mat and blow him up. Lux was low on mana, so when I did go back in on 𝐃𝐿𝐲, I wasn't too concerned. We draw them out far enough with me and 𝐾𝐸. I wasn't afraid of dying or anything. Now I see 𝐃𝐿𝐲's wolf camp is now finally up. He's dead. Lux is out of mana, so I want to take it. Unfortunately, Janna lingered. Meanwhile, her AD carry is getting bullied in the bot lane. I have my smite to heal off of. I'm definitely going to be using that on the wolves. Get back a lot of health, and here I would have definitely gotten the kill if she didn't have exhaust. The exhaust really screwed me over. It took away from how much health I got back from my Q, and that also made me do less damage. While I'm dead, I'm looking on the minimap, and I see that 𝐃𝐿𝐲's red just came up. It was yellow, which means it's going to be up in 20 seconds or less, and then it turned golden, which means the camp currently just spawned in and is alive until proven otherwise. I wanted to get there really fast, so I actually rushed Ninja Tabbies instead of going straight for my Cinderhulk after my team mat. I get on his red buff, I finish it off with a Q smite, and I start attacking him. Lux goes MIA and 𝐾𝐸 isn't following her at all. Plus Renekton isn't top right now, so I just have to run. 𝐃𝐿𝐲's E is down, but I'm not quite sure what the cooldown is, so I don't want to risk getting stunned and then Lux snared and dying. So I do flash the wall. I wish 𝐾𝐸 would have backed me up a lot sooner, but he's not very perceptive of the map. Also, if you were paying attention to the minimap, you would know that his blue was coming up and just came up, so I ran straight over here. He did get it before I got here, but I Q through him with my Eon, start auto-attacking him, Q teammap. I end up finishing him off with the red buff. It didn't matter that Jhin was trying to help him, he just couldn't do enough, and now I do have my ultimate. I can stay in the jungle right now, Jin's nearly dead, Lux is mid, so there's nothing to really worry about. I can just take that Spire. I used W to get over here quicker, and if Lux stepped up, I would have ulted her. She does have cleanse, however, which is why I didn't ult her. I didn't want to waste it for no reason. Skarner is dead right now, so I'm going up to his golems to take them. My red buff is up right now, so this is a little bit risky. He could run straight to my red buff and take it. I'm hoping though that he doesn't and he plays it safe and goes straight for his golems, and you'll find out here in a moment that he does. So after taking his golems, Echo was under his turret, so I set up the gank. I ran out of turret aggro using my E to take less damage. I saw Skarner going the other way, but when we started to dive Echo, you can see him on the minimap loop back around and come in behind us, so we're gonna have to play this really smart. Renekton's really low and he should have just followed me. Skarner comes in here pretty quick, so I kind of just have to run. If my ultimate was up, I could have fought him, but since I am so low, there's not much I can do. As I'm running, Corki isn't following or anything, and once again, Lux is gonna roam, and she does pick up a kill. One good thing is Lux is roaming so much that Corki has pretty much double her CS, so that's one bright side. That dive was a little bit greedy since I knew Skarner was going to be in the area coming for his golems. If I could have done it over again, I would have just taken his golems and waited for the Skarner. After respawning, I didn't run straight back into his jungle because my ultimate is down. Also, all of my jungle camps are up and none of his buffs are up or coming up in the next minute, so there's really no reason for me to be over there. Now that my ultimate's up, I came over here to get down a little bit of pressure, but I'm just going to go back to farming my camps since there's nothing to really do. Jin's really low, so I figured I might be able to get a kill here. As long as I could Q through the Janna before she used her tornado, or Q through her as she was using it, I would have been fine because I could have negated the CC. She did use her tornado quicker than I intended her to, so she does get it off. I try to get off a little bit of damage onto her. It doesn't really do anything because she has her shield. Right now, I'm waiting for the Blitzcrank or the Skarner to show up. Skarner goes mid, so there's no one to really kill, but I'm going to stay since they are pretty low. Once again, I try to do it again, but she knocks me up. Then I ult the Jhin after going for the Janna. I Q'd through her and then ult the Jhin, which they rarely expect. A lot of the times, whenever you Q through the first person, the person behind them isn't expecting your ultimate, and you can pick off a pretty cheap kill that way. After getting the 2 kills, we stayed, took the turret, and I came into his jungle since his blue buff is coming up. It looks like Jan's coming towards, so I'm getting ready to Q onto her. I step out, auto attack, Q through her, dodging her tornado, getting off double fear, smiting her, flash, and finish her off with the burn of my red smite and red buff. We get the kill on Janna. If Blitzcrank would have landed that hook, that would have been a double kill. It's whatever. I'm still going to go for the blue buff. My smite's about to be up. Lux is in the mid lane, Jin's in the bot lane, there's nobody to contest us. Skarner's in a very bad spot, he's had most of his jungle wiped out. We've also taken first turret on them in the bot lane. The enemies are really struggling right now. As long as I don't just intentionally feed, there's really no way for us to lose the game at this point. After taking blue buff, Skarner still doesn't come, so I proceed to take his wolves. He moves towards my blue side, so I cross over through the mid lane and push him off. He does get the pink ward, it's no big deal. I'm going to wait in the bush. Auto attack him, auto attack Q through, fear him. Janna is here, which makes it very difficult to actually kill him. Skarner ults me, which puts me in a bad spot. I ult onto the Echo for a little bit of HP, but there's really not much I can do. Renekton didn't follow, plus Corki backed. It was a 2v3, we had no real way of winning that. I should have been paying closer of attention to the minimap and noticed that Renekton wasn't following and that Corki decided to back at that time. And then at that point, we could have just ran away when Skarner was trying to pull away with the Janna, and we could have avoided that 2v3 situation. With all the counter jungling kills, I'm getting more and more fed, and I'm just starting to snowball. I have my Cinder Hulk. Skarner's getting frustrated, so he's trying to counter jungle me in my jungle, which is a big no-no when you're behind as a jungler and you're against someone who's much stronger than me. So he's losing out on a lot of time in XP. I see him top lane, so I'm going to go back in his jungle and steal some more camps. As I'm finishing off these raptors, once again, Lux is trying to fuck with me. I still get 2 of the small ones and the big one with my smite, so it's no big deal. I'm trying to get down some vision now. I know Skarner's in the area because he was just top lane. I figured he was on his golems or trying to gank Renekton still, and sure enough, he's on his golems. I Q through him with my Eon and start mashing his brains in. There's not much he can do to really fight back. If he attacks me, he loses. I do more damage and heal, so he basically just has to run and hope his teammates will carry him. Sure enough, all of his teammates come and Corki didn't follow at all. Lux has been here for over 6 seconds, and now 𝐾𝐥𝐸 decided he wants to move here. By the time 𝐾𝐥𝐸 gets here, me and Renekton have already won the fight. We've killed Skarner, Janna, and Lux are low on mana and health. I am glad 𝐾𝐥𝐸 came because he made it easier, but still, his timing was very, very late. After winning that fight, there's no one to contest us, so we stay with our minions and break down their turrets. It's important to, whenever you kill the enemies, try to take objectives. Don't just go back into the jungle and farm. If there's no one to contest you, take objectives. You win the game by breaking the nexus, not by having more CS or kills than the enemy team. You might be saying, well, whenever you killed Skarner, you'd always farm his jungle. That's a little bit different because if his laners are still alive, it's difficult to take their turret, but if Skarner's dead, there's no one to stop me from taking his jungle. The enemies aren't pushing out and trying to contest us because they've lost so many fights already and we're so far ahead that we can just move from objective to objective. Like we went to Dragon and they didn't even try to stop us. 𝐾𝐥𝐸 had package and they tried to defend their turret, and then we just got some more kills. This is just snowballing harder and harder. While 2 of them are dead, I want to shove up mid, but after they spawn in, I'm going to back off. Since Renekton and Blitzcrank were at base, there's no point of me staying to solo them all in the mid lane. I might as well go back in my own jungle and farm until my teammates are ready to group up, take Baron, or just do another team fight. The rest of this game is honestly really boring. It's pretty much just the enemy team hiding in their base while we shove in lanes and take objectives. We never did get an early inhibitor on them, so it's hard to do Baron if you don't have an inhibitor because the enemies just push out and try to steal Baron from you, and if you lose Baron, that's a massive gold swing and pressure swing that stops us from being able to take an inhibitor for about 5 minutes or so. So we don't try to do Baron because we never got an inhibitor because certain people on our team, 𝐾𝐥𝐸, weren't grouping. So throughout the game, enemy teams were basically hiding because me and Renekton were exerting so much pressure on them. And in the mid and late game, so right now, for example, the enemies got greedy. They try to push out and get their jungle camps or maybe some CS. And then me, Blitzcrank, and Renekton are waiting to get them. And that's essentially how this game ends. There's really nothing else to say. We don't even need to do Baron because we've been pushing away at their base this whole time. 𝐾𝐥𝐸's been split pushing, taking inhibitors, and the game ends just like this. I don't really want to show the rest because it's basically 4 minutes of nothingness, just slowly shoving them in and killing them all because the enemies refuse to surrender. That is going to wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed this Warwick commentary guide, absolute monstrous counter jungling, and you want to support the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really just helped me out a lot. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.